When you take action, you feel you're doing your bit, you start to come out of this depression. And one way I try to reach the hearts of adults is by telling stories. I find that a lot of young people are changing the way their parents act. And I come back again to the fact that every day you live, you can make a difference. So what do you buy? Where does it come from? Did its production harm the environment? Was it cruel to animals, like our factory farming or the wildlife markets? Is it cheap because of unequal wages, unfair wages, or child slave labor or sweatshops? And so if you start buying ethically, which you can't afford to do if you're very poor, which is why alleviating poverty is so terribly important. But providing you're not living in absolute poverty, you can make a choice. You can make an ethical choice. If you don't think the product has been created ethically, don't buy it. So then you get this consumer pressure, which has changed big corporations. And also you get CEOs of some of these corporations who've had their hearts reached. So, or it's the staff of the corporation. So there's a lot of pressures coming on these companies increasingly as more and more people realize that they have a role to play in making this a better world. Each and every one of us has a role to play, even if we don't know what it is, but we can all try.
I think that we need to go to the fundamentals, to the basics. I think that we lost that because when we are babies, we are not programmed to chop trees, to treat nature as a toy. I mean, along the way, something happened in which we start getting distance from nature. We start assuming that is there to serve us. And what do you think about that part?
Well, I think that what's happened, and you've said it, what's happened is that we've got sucked into this materialistic society. We have lost contact with the natural world. And I'm hoping that the sort of silver lining of this terrible pandemic that's caused so much suffering is like a wake-up call, because we brought this pandemic on ourselves by our absolute disrespect of nature and disrespect of animals.
Absolutely.
And so it's become clearer and clearer to many people that we need a new relationship with nature and animals, because we are part of the natural world. We may think we're separate from it and we can live without it, but we cannot. We depend on it for food and water and clothing and housing and mitigating the effects of climate change, having an effect on climate and on rain. I'm hoping that somehow there's enough people who feel this need for this new relationship and for a new, more sustainable, greener economy. Because, and again, you said it, we cannot expect to have unlimited economic development and only care for GDP on a planet with finite natural resources. In some places, they're being used up faster than nature can replenish them. And at the same time, we've got a growing population of humans and their livestock. So there's 7.2 or 3 billion of us on the planet now, and there's going to be closer to 10 billion by 2050. So if we don't change the way we behave, what is going to happen?
Jane, absolutely. And definitely in regard to that point, as you know, because there are a lot of controversy around the population issue, in the sense that in itself, it is an issue and it is not an issue, because if we behave like a lot of people in Africa behave, where the footprint is minimum, because out of 10% of the world creates 95% of the problems. One scientist questioned one work, and of course the science is not perfect. There are loopholes here and there. But if you grab one and you create a magnifying effect and you create doubt, actually it's very serious. And what they do is a real problem. because most of the action trying to occur on this side of the table is constantly being delayed. And I think that one of my major concerns is that dynamic, right?
Yeah, I
In
think
this
so.
part.
And also, there's another problem. There are scientists who are in the pay of government. There's no question about that, or being paid by corporations. They're spreading false information or suppressing it. There was a big thing just today I was reading. It's come to light in Australia, where a group of scientists were investigating one of the major problems, protecting biodiversity. And they were being pressured by the government not to release this paper or to change it and remove the government from it. I mean, that's in Australia. And so it's in every single country that you get science subverted. It's all about power and money, isn't it? All about power and money. And I mean, also there is another level, which sometimes really is true, and that's ignorance. I mean, people really do believe the wrong thing because they're being told. So you've got all these different things to fight. And luckily, there's many different people with many different ideas, many different interests. And we need to get together across these disciplines and all work together, but not aggressively. I think aggression backfires. We just need to get to the heart. This whole iconic thing, it still puzzles me because quite honestly, inside myself, I'm just me. I'm the same me. I'm sitting in the house now where I grew up. Behind me are some of the books I read as a child. And the dog who taught me so much about animals is behind me here, Rusty. And
That is you or your mother in the picture?
this one is me.
Okay, and your mother is the one up. Okay, that
Yes,
is you.
she's
Okay.
up there. And David Greybeard. But anyway,
Yes.
so I know perfectly well, I am just me. This iconic status, I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. It just happened. And I'm still puzzled. I'm still puzzled by people.
Like Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg is a great example. She never started this to become a global renowned personality nowadays. I think that she started from the heart, you started from the heart, and this happened. So, but how you manage that, Jane, is amazing, because most of us, when we're put it, as they said, that the true version of ourselves, when you are exposed to pretty much the world you are, emerge. That is amazing. I didn't want to finish without telling you that, because I admire you a lot for that. You understand where I'm coming from. A lot of people change when they are exposed to that celebrity status.
I've watched them change. I've seen children who are passionate about something and they're pure, but then they get some adulation and they get some press and they change. They completely change. But partly I think it's the parents support, and the parents push them to go further than perhaps they otherwise would. I had this wonderful mother, and she supported me. She gave me the right advice. If you meet somebody you disagree with, number one, listen to them, talk to them. And maybe they've got some points that you never thought of. Maybe it's you that's wrong, not them. And, she gave me all this kind of wise advice. And my whole family, this house where I grew up, where my sister now is with her family, we share it. And I've never been here much before until the pandemic. And what I attribute to my father is a really good, strong genes for, I don't get sick. And so I can go all day without eating. It doesn't bother me. And he was just the same.
What you do is about trolling 300 days a year. If I do that, or if I did that when I was 30, I will end up in bed the next year. I mean, the energy you have is that is, Jane. You do things that someone at 40 cannot.
Yes, I know. Well, I probably couldn't have when I was 40 either. It's just because, the closer I get to the end, the more I have to do and the less time I have to do it. So, it's just sheer pig-headed obstinacy. I'm not going to give up.
Jane,
my body is very kind to me, and I give thanks for, I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful to the genes that I was given, and all the other things that are partly genetic and partly my upbringing and my wonderful family. So there we are.
Shamim is the founder of Eco Network and he's the CEO. He will be leading, and he has 3,000 people in Bangladesh working with him, and he has already in Nepal, in other places already. Eco Network is based in Bangladesh, is from Bangladesh, but they have people in Nepal and in different places. So
we've also got Roots and Shoots and JGI in Nepal as well.
Dr. Jane Goodall, thank you so much. I salute you. I mean, it has been an honor to see you again. It's a pity that I see you with the distance, but thank you so much. And you are an endless source of inspiration. Thank you again so much.
Well, it's been great talking to you, Alexis, and I hope we can keep up this connection.